If you thought about giving up, this is the word I asked to deliver to you. Calm your mind, because I am here speaking to you now. I remind you, it is no accident that you hear these words. It is part of the promise I traced over your life from the beginning. I, the Lord, affirm, nothing can break the covenant I established with you. I know every battle you faced in silence, every tear that fell without anyone noticing, every thought that pushed you to believe the end had come. I say with authority, this is not the end. This is the turning point, the exact moment in which I intervene and turn despair into hope, loss into restoration, night into dawn. My son, my daughter, I never abandoned you. The silence you thought was absence was, in truth, the preparation of the ground. While you thought nothing was happening, I was moving pieces, closing doors that would lead you astray, and opening paths that only now you will understand. I did not allow you to be crushed, even when the waves seemed too high. I preserved your breath. I sustained your steps. I guarded your heart, because my covenant with you is firm and eternal. Do not look at the days when the enemy seemed to win, because I had already determined the day when his hand would be torn from over your house. Today I declare over you, your pain will not be in vain. What seemed like defeat will be testimony. What seemed like loss will be a sign of my restoration. I am the God who changes decrees, who lifts the broken from the dust, who turns debts into provision and sickness into healing. I know about your piled-up bills, the weight that steals your sleep, the nights when you did calculations and found no way out. But I say, it will not be by your mathematics, it will be by my mighty hand. I am your source, and there is no debt greater than my provision. I am moving resources. I am releasing opportunities. I am sending people who will carry answers. Your story will not end in shame, but in honor. I also see the one in your house who suffers, the sickness that has been like a constant shadow, stealing joy and hope. Today, I breathe life. I bring restoration. I send healing that does not come from doctors or medicines, but from my presence that renews every cell and strengthens every bone. I have not forgotten your prayers for the one you love, and I, myself, visit your house with the balm of health and peace. And as for your search for work, I affirm, you were not forgotten. The time of closed doors was a time of alignment, but now I declare, doors will open before you, doors that no one will be able to close. I prepared a place that bears your name, and when you enter it, you will understand that it was not delay, it was preservation. The wait was not punishment, it was protection. Why do you doubt if I have already declared victory? Why do you let the whispers of fear drown out my voice? I speak to you now clearly so that you may know. I saw you, I heard you, I marked this moment. This instant is an answer, a turning point, a seal of promise. I say, how long will you hesitate? How long will you let doubt paralyze your steps? Today is the day to lift your head and believe again. Do not fear tomorrow, because I am already in tomorrow. Do not be held back by what has passed, because I make a new way before you. Look to me and trust. What I have for you does not depend on your strength, but on my faithfulness. I am the God who opens the sea, who brings down walls, who shuts the mouths of lions. I am the same who calls you by name and affirms, you will not fall, you will not fail, you will not be put to shame. Remember what I have already done for you in the past. That time when there seemed to be no way out and I sent help was so that today you would have a memory of my faithfulness, that unexpected deliverance, that unseen care, that peace in the midst of the storm. All of it was so that your heart would trust now. Do not say that you are alone, because I have always been with you. Even when you did not feel me, I was there. I never let go of your hand. I never took my gaze away. I know you better than you know yourself. I know your limits, I know your fears, and I know exactly where to strengthen your weaknesses. Listen, it is not luck, it is promise, it is not chance. it is fulfillment. Every detail that seemed insignificant was part of a greater design drawn by me to lead you to the place of victory. Nothing is outside of my control. Nothing has escaped my hands. I call you today to trust. Give me your whole heart. Surrender to me your concerns, your plans, your dreams, because I take care of each one of them. You do not need to carry alone what I have already taken to the cross. Rest in me, and I will do infinitely more than you can imagine. I declare, the cycle of oppression is coming to an end. The weight that bent you down will be removed. The dark cloud that hovered over your mind will dissipate. The anxiety that stole your sleep will be silenced by my peace. You will live a new season, marked by hope and renewal. Walk with me, because I did not call you to go backward, but to advance. Do not look back. Do not stay stuck in what has already passed. I open before you a future that shines, a path where every step will be confirmation of my presence. Today begins the turnaround you were waiting for. Today, I release over you new grace, new strength, clear direction. Today, I place in your hands the keys that will open doors you thought were unreachable. Today, I declare over your house unshakable peace and over your heart unbreakable confidence. Receive this word, because it does not come from men, it comes from me, the Lord. I seal this promise in you. Nothing can break the covenant I established with you. I am faithful to fulfill, and what I began, I myself will complete. I know the weight you carry, the weariness that builds up in the silence of the nights, and the questions that echo in your heart. Do not ignore the signs I have already sent, because even the pressure in your spirit was a call. What seemed to be only coincidence was in fact the reflection of my care, reminding you that you were never alone. Every sigh of yours was heard by me. Every tear that fell in secret was kept before me as a silent cry. None of your days of pain went unnoticed. None of your hidden thoughts were concealed from my eyes. I was with you when the doors closed before you, and you did not understand the reason. I was with you when people walked away, and you thought it was abandonment, but it was preservation. I was by your side when that harsh word wounded your heart, and you wanted to remain silent forever. But I placed within you the strength you did not know you had. You thought it was your own resistance, but it was my spirit sustaining your soul. Beloved child, I saw when you lay down with a heavy mind, spinning between thoughts that would not quiet down. I saw when you looked at the ceiling in the silence of the night and asked, "Where are you?" And even though you did not hear an audible answer, my care was all around you. The air you breathed, the day that dawned without you asking, the strength you felt to rise, all of this was an answer. Every detail was proof that I never left you. Remember when you felt that impulse to change your way home, and you did not understand why? I was the one who diverted you from the danger you did not see. Recall the day you received a simple word from someone who did not even know about your struggle, but it struck exactly where your heart was bleeding. It was not chance, it was me sending comfort through unlikely vessels. Even the silence of those who could not embrace you was me showing you that my embrace is greater than any other. I know the marks you carry. I know the disappointment that stole your hope, and I know the betrayal that left you suspicious even of me. But today, I tell you, I am not like those who hurt you. I do not take back my word. I do not abandon my children. I do not let promises fall to the ground. I am faithful, and I remain with you in every season. When all walk away, I draw even closer. When all give up, I insist on lifting you up. Listen well, not one of the pains you faced was wasted. Just as dry ground cries out for rain, and when it receives it, it becomes fertile to sprout, so also your heart, wounded and weary, will be the soil where I will cause new fruit to grow. What you call loss, I call preparation. What you saw as delay, I designed as protection. You were not rejected, you were kept. Many looked at you and did not understand the process, and even you questioned whether it was punishment. But I speak with truth. It was not punishment, it was training. I was forging in you the endurance you would need to carry the weight of the victory that is to come. Just as gold is tested in fire to shine even brighter, so also you were tested so that your value would be revealed. Remember the time you thought it would be the end, and suddenly the solution came at the last moment. You called it luck, but I called it a promise fulfilled. Remember when someone appeared to help you without even knowing that you needed it. You called it coincidence, but I called it divine care. Nothing in your life was by chance. Everything had purpose, even the most painful paths. I know that your heart still holds questions. I know that you still have areas where you cannot fully trust. But do not reject what you feel as doubt, for even your fragility is known by me. I am not startled by your questions. I do not walk away from your fears. On the contrary, it is there that I reveal myself stronger, because in your weakness I show my strength, and in your emptiness I pour out my fullness. How many times have you looked back and seen signs that now make sense? How many times did you realize that if you had followed your own decision, you would have fallen into traps? That was not luck. It was my invisible hand guiding your steps. I was in every detail, even when they seemed insignificant. Even the silence that bothered you was a way of shaping your ear so that you would learn to distinguish my voice. Today I tell you, do not despise the path of pain you have walked, because in it I planted seeds of wisdom and perseverance. The same ground that now seems dry will be the place of the abundance I will send. You will understand that the tears were water for the seeds, and the days of waiting were preparation for the harvest. What you call wait, I will transform into testimony. Do not hold resentment for what has passed, because even the wounds you received will become marks of victory. When you look at them, you will not see reminders of suffering, but proof of my care. Just as scars tell stories of survival, so also you will tell that you survived because I was with you. I do not deny your pain. I validate every feeling of yours, but I tell you, it will not be your identity. Your identity is in me, in the love I have for you, in the covenant I made with you. The enemy tried to convince you that you were alone, but the truth is that you never took a step outside of my presence. I was your shield, your refuge, your sustenance. Now breathe and remember, you were never alone. Every memory of deliverance, every word that came at the right time, every strength that arose when you had no more, all of this is me. I am the one who has been with you from the beginning, and I will be until the end. How long will you hesitate to trust? How long will you allow doubt to steal your peace? If I have already declared victory over you, why do you still walk in fear? Was it not I who sustained you until now? Today I undo the voice of hesitation, because nothing I have prepared can be lost unless you remain paralyzed. I ask you, what good is it to know my promises if you do not decide to walk in them? Why choose the shadow when the light has already been lit on your path? I did not call you to live chained to fear, nor to live hostage to uncertainty. The enemy wants you to believe that your steps are too fragile to move forward, but I remind you that you do not walk alone. Every step of yours is strengthened by my spirit. The ground that seems unstable beneath your feet becomes firm when you decide to walk in faith. Do not look at the abyss. Look at me. Do not stop in front of the storm, because I am the one who calms the wind and commands the waters to be still. I know that many times your mind convinces you to wait for more signs, more guarantees, more certainties, but I have already given you everything you need to move forward. Hesitation is like a thief that steals time, and the time you waste trapped in doubt does not return. I do not want to see you paralyzed when what I have prepared is movement. How long will you delay taking the step that can change your entire story? Remember, it was not you who made it this far by your own strength. It was I who sustained your arms when they wanted to fall. It was I who nourished your soul when hope seemed dead. It was I who opened space where there was none, and you are a witness of this. If I have already shown you so many times that I am faithful, why do you still question whether I will be with you tomorrow? Listen, my child. Hesitation is like quicksand. The longer you remain in it, the more you sink. But faith is like a firm rock, and it is enough for you to place your foot on that rock to feel stability that no wind can tear away. I did not create your days to be trapped in circles of doubt. I created your days for advancement, for purpose, for victory. I ask you, what good is it to contemplate the open door if you do not have the courage to cross it? What good is it to recognize the call if you do not respond with your voice? I do not form you to be a spectator of what I prepare. I formed you to be a participant, to live the fullness of what I have released over you. Today I break the power of indecision. Today I breathe boldness into your spirit. I lift you from the place of paralysis and I tell you, walk. Because every step in faith generates movement in heaven. Every decision you make aligned with my voice opens the way for the impossible to become reality. Do not fear making mistakes, because even if your feet falter, I will be with you. Do not fear falling, because I am the hand that lifts you up. Do not fear losing, because everything you place in my hands multiplies. Hesitation only feeds the illusion of human control, but trust produces miracles. I speak to you clearly. To hesitate is to delay what is already ready. To hesitate is like looking at the promised land and refusing to enter out of fear of the giants. But remember, the giants are not greater than I am. The walls are not higher than my promise. The obstacles are not barriers. They are stages for my power to manifest before your eyes. How long will you allow yourself to be held by contrary voices? How long will you give more value to inner doubts than to the certainty of my word? What I say is eternal, it does not change. If I said I will be with you, it is because I already am. If I said you have won, it is because I have already prepared your victory. If I said I will do it, it is because it is already done in my time. Rise and choose to trust. Hesitation is the enemy of advancement, but faith is the seed of victory. I invite you to cast off the invisible chains that bind your mind, to silence the noise of doubt and to align your heart with my voice. I will not give you all the answers before the time, but I will give you enough direction for the next step. And just the next step is enough for me to reveal more ahead. Do not let doubt steal the peace I have already placed in you. Peace is your sign, faith is your weapon, and my word is your sustenance. Look back and see how I've always been with you, and let that be fuel to walk forward. Hesitation no longer fits in you. I made you to advance, to conquer, to testify. Today I speak with authority. Break the cycle of doubt. Leave the place of hesitation. Walk with me, because what I have prepared cannot be lost. Your story is not standing still, it is in motion, and what seemed stagnant will become a river flowing with abundance. I am the Lord who calls you to trust without reservation. I am the one who has already determined your victory. Do not look anymore at what holds you back. Look at me. Do not listen anymore to what weakens your faith. Listen to my voice. Because I tell you, nothing can steal what I have already released, unless you choose to remain motionless. And I did not call you to immobility, but to the fullness of the life I have prepared for you. Today begins the turnaround you were waiting for. I bring answers for your finances, health for your home, reconciliation for your family, and open doors before the impossible. But I do not stop there. What I do in you will be a sign for many, because what I release in your life will extend to the generations that will come after you. I declare over you that your story will not end at the point of lack where you once were. I am the inexhaustible source that multiplies where there was none, that pours out where it seemed to be missing. that provides in a way that surpasses your understanding. What was once a weight in your mind will now be a testimony on your lips, because I show you that my provision knows no limits. I am bringing balance to areas where disorder seemed to reign. The one who once looked at his accounts and saw only numbers in red will see open doors of unexpected provision. I am already moving people, resources, and opportunities so that the weight you carried will be lifted. You will no longer have to face alone the worries that stole your sleep, because I send rest. What seemed impossible to solve, I solve with one word. I also extend my hand to your health. You thought the diagnosis you received would be permanent, but I say that my word is higher than any report. I restore what seemed compromised, I renew the strength that was running out, and I breathe new life into your body. The breath that brought you into the world is the same breath that renews your breathing now. I bring relief to pains, and where there was fear, I place hope. Your house will be a place of testimony, because what was once a reason for weeping will be remembered as a sign of my power. Within your family, I bring reconciliation. I see the walls that were raised, the words that wounded, the silence that separated hearts. I tear down those walls, I restore broken bonds, I place love where there was coldness. Conversations that seemed impossible will bloom again, and simple gestures will carry the weight of healing. I unite generations, I restore parents and children, I bring peace to couples who were divided. What the enemy tried to destroy in your home, I restore with an abundance of love and unity. And not only within your home, but outside of it I open doors before the impossible. Doors that once never opened will begin to unlock before you. I do not limit my children to narrow paths, because I am the God who makes a way in the sea and who opens roads in the desert. I've already prepared spaces that carry your name, tables where your presence will be honored, places where you will be remembered not for what you lost, but for what you resisted and overcame. What I do in you is also a sign for many. Your story will not remain hidden, because through you others will see my faithfulness. Your neighbors, your colleagues, even those who doubted will see the transformation I brought and will know that it was not human work, but divine. You will be like a living letter, testimony that will speak louder than any word. And when they ask how everything changed, your answer will be, "It was the hand of the Lord." But I do not stop there. What I released in you will not remain limited to your personal life. What I do in you will extend to those around you and will even reach generations not yet born. Because I am the God of eternal covenants, and when I decide to bless, the blessing is not limited to a moment. The seed I deposit in you today will bear fruit in your children, in the children of your children, and will continue beyond. They will reap peace where you sowed tears. They will reap abundance where you persevered in the midst of lack. Do not underestimate what I am doing now. Every detail I transform in your life is aligned to something greater. You are not only a recipient of blessings, you are a channel for others to see my glory. And when your mouth proclaims my faithfulness, many will be awakened. Those who were lost will gain direction. Those who were discouraged will find courage. What begins in you today will become a movement that will reach multitudes. I am the God who writes stories that cross generations. What was once marked by pain in your lineage, I transform into testimony of victory. Where there was once repetition of failure, I place a cycle of conquest. Where there was once an inheritance of suffering, I establish an inheritance of peace. You are chosen to break patterns that imprisoned and to release upon your descendants the freedom that comes from my spirit. I am not limited to the now, I am Lord of time. What I do in you today is also harvest prepared for tomorrow. The seeds of faith you deposit now will bloom even when you are no longer here, because my word is eternal. I guarantee that what begins as a personal promise will become a family, community, and generational legacy. I affirm today is the day of the turnaround. Today, I place in your hands not only answers, but also authority to proclaim life over those around you. Today, I declare that your story is a living sign of my faithfulness, and your descendants will be known as a blessed generation. Nothing I do is limited to a moment, because I am a God of continuity. What begins now will never be erased. Declare now with your lips, I receive, because when you speak in faith, heaven moves. Do not withhold your words, because what you confess in my name will be sealed. I have already prepared the table, only your position is missing. Remain firm and respond with your voice, because your declaration will open doors that were locked. Faith is not just a thought kept in silence, it is a seed that needs to be released in word. When your mouth proclaims, my spirit acts. When your tongue declares life, the invisible world moves and what seemed blocked opens before you. I teach you today that it is not enough to believe in silence. It is necessary to lift your voice and take hold of what I have released. It is not the volume that moves my heart, but the sincerity that comes from your soul. Your words carry weight in the spiritual realm. When you agree with me and declare victory, you are like one who lifts a key that unlocks ancient locks. Do not withhold your confession. Do not be silent before what I have already prepared for you. I have already set a banquet before you, a table of provision, a table of honor, a table of healing, a table of reconciliation. But you must approach and sit down. Many look at the table and doubt whether it is for them. I tell you, it is for you. The place I prepared will not be occupied by another. It is reserved, set apart, destined for your life. But your voice is the sign that confirms your position before this table. That is why I call you to declare with boldness. Do not say only in thought, but proclaim with your mouth, I receive. Because each word of yours is testimony against the enemy who tries to whisper that you are not worthy. Each declaration of yours silences the accusations that try to steal your faith. When you say, I receive, you are raising a banner in the middle of the battle and declaring victory even before seeing it. Do not keep waiting for grand signs to begin to confess. The miracle often begins with a simple word. I remind you that the world was created by my voice. The light shone because I declared, let there be light. In the same way, your reality will be transformed when your voice aligns with mine. What you speak in faith creates movement in the invisible. The walls fall, the rivers open, the chains break when your mouth unites with my word. I ask you, do not use your mouth to repeat fear, complaint, or doubt. Use your mouth to proclaim promise, hope, and trust, because your words can strengthen or weaken the path. If your words reflect faith, the road opens before you. If they reflect fear, the steps become heavy. Today I teach you to choose words that generate life. Lift your voice even if your heart is trembling. Declare victory even if your eyes still see defeat. Because faith does not wait for everything to be perfect to manifest. Faith acts even when the circumstances still scream the opposite. By opening your mouth in faith, you are choosing to believe in me above what your natural eyes see. A long speech is not necessary. Sophisticated knowledge is not necessary. A simple phrase spoken with conviction has the power to change the atmosphere. I receive, I believe, I trust. These words, when they come from the depths of your soul, touch heaven and bring answer to earth. It is in simplicity that my power is manifested, because I do not look at form, I look at the heart. I have already released over you promises that await your agreement. Heaven is ready, the time is ripe, but your voice is the key. Therefore, do not delay any longer. Do not leave for tomorrow what you can proclaim now. Every second of hesitation is an opportunity the enemy tries to steal. But every word of faith released is territory conquered. You are called to be a prophet of your own house. Your declarations not only affect your life, but they reverberate in your family, in your children, in those around you. When you proclaim healing, your house receives health. When you proclaim provision, doors open not only for you, but for those who depend on you. When you proclaim reconciliation, hearts begin to soften and bonds are restored. Do not underestimate the power of your mouth. With it, you can build or destroy. That is why I teach you to use it as a weapon of victory. Your words are seeds. And every time you say, "I receive," a seed falls into the spiritual soil. Some will germinate quickly, others will take time, but none will go unanswered, because my word does not return empty, and when your voice aligns with mine, the fulfillment is certain. I summon you today to position yourself firmly. Do not speak as one who doubts, speak as one who already possesses. Do not proclaim as one who begs, proclaim as one who takes possession, because it is already done. What I released is already in motion. Your voice only opens the way for you to see manifested what already exists in the invisible. So lift your head, open your lips, and declare. Your faith can no longer remain silent. Each declaration of yours is an answer to heaven. Each word of yours is a decree that silences darkness. When you proclaim, "I receive," it is not just a phrase, it is covenant, it is seal, it is testimony. And I move with power in response to your voice. I tell you, declare because victory is before you. Confess because the promise is already sealed. Speak because your voice is the echo of my word. And when your mouth proclaims faith, heaven will open, the earth will align, and my glory will be seen in your life. I reveal to you that not every open door comes from me, and not every delay was defeat. Many paths were closed to protect your future, and today I undo hidden traps that plan to ensnare you. Learn to discern with my spirit, because what seems small before your eyes is, many times, the sign I hid to confirm the next step. I am the one who sees what your eyes cannot perceive, who unveils what was hidden, and who exposes what seems safe but did not come from me. Do not confuse opportunity with direction, because not everything that shines is gold, and not every invitation is a path. I was in the silence when you cried out for open doors and did not understand why so many remained locked. I did not leave you frustrated by accident. I preserved you from falling into snares that looked like gifts but were disguised prisons. I shut access that would have taken you away from my purpose. I cut ties that seemed promising but would have brought tears. I exposed hidden intentions in hearts that drew near to you so that you would not be deceived by the appearance of friendship or opportunity. Listen carefully. Many paths that look wide before you lead to loss, but the narrow path I prepare leads to life. Not always what is easy to reach is what builds you up. I teach you to discern, not by shine, but by the testimony of my spirit in your heart. What comes from me brings peace, even if it is challenging. What does not come from me generates confusion, even if it seems safe. Learn to hear that sign within you, because that is where my voice is revealed. I have already dismantled snares you did not even imagine. How many invitations did you receive that looked like honor, but hid traps? How many paths seemed shortcuts, but were detours? I broke those snares in silence, so that your feet would not be ensnared. Many times you thought it was rejection, but it was protection. You called it delay, but it was me changing your route so you would not suffer irreparable falls. Understand, I am your father. I do not play with your days. I do not place you before something that will destroy you. If you have not yet opened certain doors, it is because I know you were not ready, or because inside them there were thorns disguised as flowers. Do not confuse delay with abandonment. Delay is, many times, the way I use to save you from unnecessary wounds. Today, I lift the veil and show that many of the delays you judged as failure were deliverance. I show you that many of the closings you felt were, in fact, doors of the enemy that I locked so that you would not enter. Today, I reveal that the relationship that did not prosper, that partnership that did not stand, that project that did not grow, all were contaminated by hidden intentions. I exposed and cut them because I love you too much to let your life be trapped in bonds that would steal your future. I call you to spiritual maturity, not to live only by appearances. Learn to discern with my spirit, because I speak through the peace I place in your heart, through the uneasiness that warns you, through signs that others call coincidence, but that you will recognize as my hand. Do not despise the small details, because many times I hide confirmation in something simple. I've already shown you in the past, and now I remind you. Remember that day when your heart was troubled by something that seemed good? That uneasiness was my spirit guarding you. Recall when you felt peace even before a decision that looked risky. That peace was the sign I hid to confirm that I was with you. That is how I teach my children, with signs that do not shout but whisper in the spirit of those who are attentive. I also tell you, do not judge by the eyes, because what looks strong is often fragile, and what looks small is often great in my kingdom. I choose the details that men despise to confirm my plans. I use the door that looked small to take you to greater halls. I hide in simple gestures the answer you were seeking. Today, I expose traps that tried to steal your rest. I cut ties that would have been a burden. I break contracts that were not born from my heart. I tear down masks of people who approach with hidden intentions. I cast light on the shadows so that you may walk without stumbling. You will see before your eyes what I had already seen for a long time, and you will recognize that I was always protecting every detail. I call you to walk with discernment. Do not take steps only by emotion, but seek my spirit before you move, because when you ask, I answer. When you seek, I show. When you quiet yourself to listen, I speak. I do not speak in riddles to those who seek me with a sincere heart. I speak clearly, and today I renew your spiritual sensitivity so that you may perceive what once went unnoticed. I am the God who reveals the hidden, who exposes what was concealed, who illuminates where there was darkness. Nothing can remain covered before me, and I decide to reveal to you because you are mine. Because I want you to walk in safety and not be trapped by invisible snares. I give you discernment to see beyond the surface, to choose with wisdom, to advance with confidence. And now I tell you, trust in the signs I send. Follow the peace I place in your heart. Learn to distinguish what is my breath and what is the enemy's noise, because I have already placed within you the ability to discern. And if you remain attentive, you will never be deceived. The time for double restitution has come. What was taken will be returned with abundance, and the time you thought was lost will be accelerated before my eyes. I myself confirm that this is the day when the ground begins to tremble. The veil is torn, and the window of favor opens over you incontestably. I raise over your story a decree of return and multiplication. What seemed buried will not remain in the tomb. What was broken will not remain in shards. I take into my hands the pages that were stained and rewrite with honor what was once told with shame. I establish before you a tribunal of grace. The book of memories is opened, the records of faithfulness are brought to light, and the sentence is pronounced in your favor. Old seals are removed, legal barriers in the invisible are annulled, and every word that restrained your steps loses authority in my presence. I sign with my own name the release that belongs to you. Where there was a stamp of denied, I place a stamp of approved. Where there was indefinite waiting, I mark the date of fulfillment. I restore resources that were withheld from you, return opportunities that slipped through your fingers, and place in your hands keys you did not possess. The flow that seemed interrupted runs again, like a river that broke through artificial banks. Debts that oppressed you will receive unexpected resolutions. Doors of work that did not move will be turned from within, and the bolt that kept you out yields to the touch of my favor. I bring the right people close, remove corrupt intermediaries, and align circumstances so that provision arrives clean, without contamination. I restore strength to your body and serenity to your mind. The weariness that seemed permanent will not dictate your pace. Short breaths lengthen, weight on the shoulders dissolves, palpitations give way to rest. That which consumed you inside loses strength as my life permeates you. I reorganize your days so that your rest is not luxury, but reality. In you, courage is reborn, like a clear morning after a thick night. I repair your honor. Voices that accused you will lose their platform, accusations will fall to the ground without support, and your credibility will be rebuilt on a solid foundation. I set you at tables where you once had no seat, and your name will no longer be remembered for the stumble but recognized for your constancy. The smile that was taken from you returns to your face, not by effort, but because joy finds a stable dwelling in your interior. I imprint holy speed on what seemed stagnant. The cycle that would take years will be shortened with precision. That which dragged like an endless line will cross stages with fluidity. I align times, people, and places so that the pieces fit together with uncommon swiftness. Do not be surprised when, in sequence, distinct answers appear as if one pulled the other. This acceleration is not disorder, it is synchronization with my clock. I will give you unequivocal signs of confirmation. Convergent words will come from sources that do not know each other. A path that seemed closed will show itself passable in an instant. Old requests that went unanswered will receive a clear response. Stalled documents will be dispatched. Messages you were waiting for will arrive at the exact moment your faith dares one more step. I will teach you to recognize these marks so that you do not attribute to chance what is my signature. The shaking I begin in your inner ground is not to bring you down. It is to remove what cannot accompany the new weight of glory. Like one who shakes the tree so that the dry falls, I allow tremors that consolidate roots and strengthen trunks. The tearing of the veil is not noise of destruction, it is opening of access. I remove the curtain that kept you from perceiving my movement, and your vision expands. The window I open does not release timid breeze, it pours wind of advancement. Favor that cannot be explained by resume, affinity, or human calculation. I protect what I entrust to you. Where there are attempts of contamination, I set limits. Where there are greedy hands wanting to touch what belongs to you, I impose distance. Projects born in this season will have shielding. Relationships that arise under my care will have firm foundations. I will teach you to say yes without guilt and no without fear, because maturity is the guard of what was entrusted. I also reorient steps so that the harvest is not lost through haste or distraction. The acceleration I grant is not a disorderly race. It is tuned rhythm. There will be days of quick advances and days to consolidate ground. I will guide your rhythm so that today's gain does not become tomorrow's burden. I care for width and depth, extension and foundation so that multiplication remains. I pour creativity for solutions that were not on the map. Simple strategies will unlock complex processes. Discrete ideas will produce great fruit. What seemed to demand brute force will yield to applied wisdom. I will give you arrow precision, and each well-directed effort will generate results above average. There will be people surprised by your clarity, but you will know it came from my breath. I respond to prayer alliances you made in secret. Words you released in days of weakness now return like rain that makes the field fertile. Commitments you assumed with me will be remembered with tenderness, not as burden, but as trail that brought you here. I honor your small acts, your anonymous gestures, your silent choices. Nothing was ignored. Everything enters into the calculation of my goodness. I announce return beyond expectation. What was subtracted comes back with addition. What was lost returns with shine. What was denied opens access to larger portions. I transform damage into platform. I transform interruption into solid restart. I transform drought into storage. And when you look back, you will see not only replacement, but evident surpassing. I confirm. This season is marked with my yes. It is not echo of human enthusiasm. It is firm will. I place peace where the right decision must be made, and I place unrest where the door must remain closed. My yes will taste like rest and courage at the same time. My no will seem like protection before it seems like limitation. Learn to rest in my sieve. It spares you costly paths. I surround your house with an atmosphere of reverent celebration. Gratitude will cease to be discourse and become practice. Generosity will become your language. Forgiveness will unlock internal spaces once inaccessible. And while your heart learns to breathe in this new air, I will expand your capacity to receive without guilt and to share without fear. I now blow over your ashes and make living flame rise. I call your name and place you in the prepared place, with tables set and chairs enough for those who will see in you proof of my care. The tremor does not bring you down, it repositions you. The tear does not expose you, it gives you access. The window does not distract you, it favors you. And all this happens under my gaze, at the exact time I determined. Receive the double portion. Walk in the pace of the advancement I released. Recognize my confirmations and guard your heart in the center of my will. I sustain what I inaugurate. I expand what I begin. I celebrate with you each step, and I keep you standing so that you may enjoy with sobriety and joy everything I have already set in motion in your favor. I seal this word over you with my faithfulness. Walk with confidence, because it is not by your strength, but by my spirit. Go in peace, because what I began is already underway, and nothing will be able to stop what I have established. Receive, believe, and remain, because my purpose is greater than you imagine. I place upon you my eternal seal, which cannot be removed by human hands, which cannot be erased by time nor annulled by circumstances. This seal is a sign that you belong to me, and that every promise spoken over your life is safeguarded by my own authority. I send you not as one who walks insecure, but as an ambassador of what I have established. You do not represent your fragility, but you carry my name and my presence in every step. Wherever you enter, my peace will enter with you. Wherever your voice is lifted, my word will echo. You are not sent empty, but equipped with the power that comes from above. I place you before situations that would seem impossible, so that the impossible will bow before my glory in you. Do not look back with fear, because the seal I place upon you is not for yesterday, but for today and tomorrow. I confirm in you that the days to come are already secured. It is not your ability that will sustain this sending, but my hand that covers you. I do not throw you alone onto the path. I go before you, beside you, and behind you, surrounding you on all sides. The road that seemed uncertain will become firm, and the obstacles that once were giants will become steps that lift you higher. I declare that your life is now an open letter of my grace. You will be read not only by those who believe, but also by those who still doubt. Your testimony will be a weapon against unbelief, because you will not speak of theory, but of experience. Your voice will carry weight not because of your strength, but because it reflects what I am doing in you. Even the smallest details of your daily life will become signs that I am with you. I confirm that what I have already begun will not be interrupted. No contrary voice will have authority to stop what I have established. No human delay will be able to delay my time. No visible barrier will be able to prevent the invisible fulfillment that is already in motion. You do not walk toward uncertainty, but toward what I have already determined as certain. And as you advance, I place new courage in your hands. You will no longer see yourself as someone limited, but as someone sustained by the limitless. You will no longer see your future as a place of fear, but as a field of harvest. You will no longer speak of defeat, but of victory. The seal I place upon you transforms your language, your vision, and your heart. Go in peace, because I myself am the peace that accompanies you. Go without fear, because darkness cannot prevail against the light that I pour over you. Go with confidence, because it is not a temporary sending, it is a permanent one. Wherever you go, I will be with you. Whatever you do will carry my breath. Whatever you touch will be transformed by my power. I also tell you, remain. Because remaining is not stagnation, it is firm root. It is being rooted in me so that winds cannot uproot. It is being established so that storms cannot tear down. Remain in faith, even when you do not yet see the result. Remain in love, even when you do not understand the circumstances. Remain in purpose, even when the voices of the world try to distract you. Remaining is a sign that you trust me more than your own vision. My purpose in you is greater than you imagine. You see only fragments, but I see the whole. You see only part of the path, but I have already traced the entire journey. You calculate according to your logic, but I move according to my eternity. You dream small, but I plan great. My purpose surpasses your limits, reaches generations, transforms environments, and breaks barriers you did not even know existed. And I assure you, nothing will be able to stop what I have established. It does not matter what was said against you. It does not matter the attempts to divert your path. It does not matter how much they tried to extinguish your hope. The final decree is in my hands, and it is irrevocable. I raise my banner over you and declare that you are mine. And because you are mine, everything upon your life moves to fulfill the destiny I have established. And there is still something I keep for you to reveal at the right time. You perceive the movement now, but you will see even further ahead the reason for every detail. I keep you firm because there are revelations that will arrive like surprise, answers that will appear like a flash, doors that will open at the moment you least expect. I prepare your heart to recognize that what will come will not be coincidence, but confirmation. Therefore, receive this word as a definitive seal. It is not a fragile promise, it is an eternal decree. It is not a loose word, it is a commitment signed by my Spirit. It is not human hope, it is divine certainty. Walk, declare, remain, trust, because what I have traced for you is already underway, and no force will be able to stop its fulfillment. I place before you not only the now, but also what is to come. You do not yet see everything, but you will feel the acceleration I have already begun. And when it happens before your eyes, you will recognize that it was I preparing you for something even greater than you dared to imagine. I am faithful to fulfill, and I am already moving. Receive, believe, and remain, because the seal of my faithfulness is upon you.